Welcome to week 3. This is our Move with Shelly class, meeting Shelly. This is our third and final class of the series. And in case you are new today, even though it is our final class, welcome. If you are new today, this is our level 2 exercise class, which means that it is moderate intensity and moderate impact exercise class. And so for our exercise class today, we will be using no equipment. I shouldn't say just today. For this entire series, we've used no equipment, but we will continue to do that today. And you don't need anything other than yourself and some space to move around. You'll probably notice that my voice is a little raspy today again because I'm still sick. So I do have a cold, and so please excuse me if you hear me coughing or sneezing during the class. I will try to be as least disruptive as possible. Now, for our Move with Shelly class, if you are new today, the way the class works is we will be doing a warm-up together. And then following the warm-up, we will have 5 exercises we're going to do in a sort of a circuit format. So 5 exercises, we have 90 seconds on the clock, so a minute and a half on the clock for each of these 5 exercises. And then once we've done all 5 exercises, we're going to take a bit of a break and we're going to redo the same 5 exercises again. So essentially, we're doing 2 rounds of the same 5 exercises. And then we end with a bit of a cool down, and that's it. So hopefully the class will go by quick and be lots of fun as well. Now, this is the level 2 class, so it will be faster paced than our level 1 class. However, with that said, if you do feel like you need to take a break or slow anything down, please feel free to do so. By all means, you don't have to do any of the exercises at the same speed that I'm doing, and you're more than welcome to have a rest as needed. Now, if you are taking a break during our class, please just make sure you get right back into it when you can, because we do want to work on a bit of endurance as well. Okay, enough chatting for me. I think everybody's connected to audio now. I can see. Wonderful. Okay, so I might come forward to the screen every now and then to let people in from the waiting room. So if you do see me come forward, just ignore me. Keep doing your exercises. It's usually because I'm letting somebody into the waiting room. Okay, let me stand up. And hopefully you can see me okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're going to start our class today by doing some marching. So just be careful with the space that you're in. Ideally, there shouldn't be any clutter on the floor or any furniture that's too close to you. You just don't want you to trip on anything or have a bit of an accident during class. So just be mindful of the space that you have as we get moving today, especially for the exercises where we kind of travel backwards a little bit. Okay. Stay marching. We're going to go sideways. We're going to take this march sideways. So whatever space you've got at home, you're going to move all the way across the space to the right and then to the left, traveling sideways. Making sure that you're getting your arms involved and you're swinging those arms. Nicely done, everybody. High knees, stomping the floor. And when you're ready, you're going to take this march forward and back. So whatever space you have, just be mindful, especially when you're going backwards. Just maybe take a sneak peek at what's behind you so you're not tripping over anything. Forwards and back. Stomping the floor, nice high knees. Good, nicely done. Now, can we do this in a circle, but keeping your chest facing forward? You're facing the camera the entire time, but you're moving in a bit of a circle. Still stomping the feet, swaying the arms. Ooh, very good. And then can you travel in the circle in the other direction? Same thing, chest facing forward. Just watch out with any furniture that might be nearby so that we don't trip on anything. Ooh, very good, everybody. And back to the center. Let's drop the arms and stop the legs. We're going to go into a squat and a rise. A squat and a rise. Keep going. From the side, you'll notice when I do my squat, I'm sending my hips back. Can you see that? So I'm sending my hips back. I'm not like this, but I want to do this. I want to stick my hips back. It's almost like I'm about to sit down in a chair. Good, nicely done. Keep breathing as you're doing this movement. Nice and flowy, nice and fluid with this movement. Squat and rise. For the rise, you might find it easier to think about pushing the floor away from you to balance rather than thinking up, 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 because sometimes when you think going up, 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 it might make it more challenging to actually hold your balance. Whereas if you think down into the floor, it might make it easier to stay rooted. Good, let's do 4. Nicely done. And 3. Take that bottom back. 2. Last one. And press. Let's go into some heel digs forward. So you're tapping those heels forward and you're pushing the arms out in front of you at the same time. I want you to imagine you've got little eggshells on your heels. And you don't want to be stomping. We don't want to be crushing down on the heels. We're taking a light tap. We don't want to break the eggshells that we've got connected under the heels. We want to do a light tap. Nicely done. So we're weight shifting, light tap. Good. Spreading out those fingers nice and wide when you're pushing the arms forward. Good, nicely done. You look like we're dancing. Okay, let's go to the side. We're tapping our toes out to the side and we're reaching the arms out, noticing that my fingers are still wide open. So as I'm tapping, I'm not doing this, right? I'm not stomping on the leg. I'm keeping myself in the center and I'm just tapping. So I am weight shifting, of course, because I have to weight shift in order to take one leg off the floor, but I'm keeping relatively stationary in the center and I'm just tapping, light tap, like those eggshells again on your foot, light tap. Nicely done. Let's take it backwards. Can we tap the toes back and reach our fingers up to the ceiling? So from the side, I'm tapping back and I'm reaching up towards the ceiling. Yes, nicely done. Noticing that again, I'm not stepping back, right? I'm not weight shifting back. I'm keeping my weight on the spot and I'm just tapping the toes nice and lightly. Good, nicely done. Okay, drop the arms. Last one. We're going to go into a bit of an arm circle. You probably remember this from last week. I'm going to circle one of my arms, just one arm back. I'm doing a little bend of the knees at the bottom. Just one arm is circling back. And then when you're ready, your other arm is going to circle forward. So one arm is circling back and one is circling forward. This one's a little bit of a brain teaser for you here. So even though the arms are moving in opposite directions, they hit the top of the circle at the same time and the bottom of the circle at the same time. Opposite arm circles. I know this one's hard. Nicely done, everybody. Let's do 3 more. And drop the arms. Let's try the other side. So your other arm now is going to circle back. Now, if you have shoulder issues and you can't quite lift your arms all the way up, that's okay. Just do a smaller circle, whatever works for you. And then when you're ready, your other arm is going to circle forward. So one arm is circling back, One is circling forward. Nicely done, everybody. We all look like we're swimming. Let's do a bit more. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, last one. Hold on to a wall or a chair or something sturdy you've got, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna do some leg swings. Now, when I do these leg swings, I'm trying to get the leg, the one that's moving, I'm trying to get it to be as loose as I can. Think loosey-goosey, like jello, like spaghetti, like noodles. You want it to be as loose as possible. So we don't want to be like this and think about kicking the leg per se. We're swinging. We're kind of just letting it flop in the air, if you will, as loose as you can. Let it be floppy. The sillier you feel, the better. That's it. Nicely done. Let's try the other side. Same thing. Other side. Exactly the same. I want you to think nice and loose. As loose as possible, like spaghetti. Loose, loose, loose. Nice and jelly and floppy. Same with the arms. Try not to hold anything in place. Kind of just let momentum take over a little bit. Let it be as loose as possible. Loose, jelly-like, floppy. Very good. Okay, and rest. Okay, I said that was the last one, but I lied. Let's do some ankles. We're gonna do heels up on either side like that. So we're kind of oscillating between the feet. And nicely done. And then see if you can do the same thing, but lifting the toes up. So from the side, so now lifting the toes up. Kind of like you're tapping the floor, alternatively. Keep going. I'm just letting somebody in from the waiting room. Keep going. Okay, good. Let's rest there. So let's go over our first exercise. Our first exercise, we're going to start with a bit of a squat. So similar to the warm-up that we did, except we're going to bring our arms up like so. We're going to go into a squat, and then on the way up, we're going to kind of pivot to the corner and punch. So squat, punch, squat, punch. Now, it's really important that when you're punching, we're not doing this. I don't want to do this. Squat, up, and then just like that. I don't want my arm to just go across the body like this. I want my entire trunk to be rotating. Can you see, if you look at my feet, can you see that my feet are kind of doing this bit of a pivot on the spot? That's what I'm looking for. So you want the movement to be connected and not choppy. So directly from the squat, you're thinking up directly into that punch. So as I come up from my squat, I'm pushing the floor away from me into that punch right away, and I'm pivoting on the spot. So not a traditional boxing move, unfortunately, for the boxers in the group. But the idea is we're aiming to connect the movement. So as we push the floor away to come up, we go right away into that punch, and we're rotating our body. That's our first exercise. And it's really important that when we are doing our punches, we don't want to just be like this and just let the arms do the work. We want it to come from our trunk. So all of the movements, so as you can see, we went into our squat. And as we come up, we want our trunk to be throwing the weight of the punches rather than just the arms extending like that. Okay, I'm gonna grab my timer. We have 90 seconds on the clock. Oops. Okay, are you ready? Exercise 1. Off we go in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Squat, punch, squat, punch. Really think about the connection of that movement. You want it to be smooth. You want the squat to go right into that punch. As you stand up from that squat, right into that punch. Remember, you're using your trunk muscles to help you throw those punches. We're not just extending the arms. Nicely done, everybody. Now remember, if anything I'm doing is a little too fast, don't worry, slow it down. That's okay, but you're still aiming for the same underlying quality of movement. So if you are slowing it down, I still want to see lots of power behind those punches. Make sure you're breathing. You've got 30 seconds. Nicely done, everybody. Squat, punch. Don't forget about the squat in the middle. You're standing up from that squat directly into the punch. 15 seconds. Nicely done, everybody. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Whew, nicely done. Oh my gosh. Starting off with that one. Okay, exercise number 2 now. So remember, we have 5 exercises, and we're running through that twice. So we've done exercise 1. Exercise number 2, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my legs. We are going to do a forward and a backwards lunge. Or if you don't want to do a lunge, I will show you a modification. But it looks like this. Forward lunge, and I'm doing my opposite arm, 2-leg reaching. Push back into a backwards lunge. Whoops, except don't fall like I just did. Let me try that again. Forward lunge, backwards lunge. Forward lunge, backwards lunge. Now, if you don't want to do a lunge, you can do a step, and it looks like this. Forward step, push, backward step. So that same leg is going forward, push, directly back, push, directly forward. So the same leg is the one that's moving. So essentially, one of your legs, this one here, it's kind of like a fulcrum, if you will. It's stuck on the spot, and the other leg is moving. So you can either do the stepping version, but you're still doing opposite arm, 2-leg. Both arms are still clean. Or you can do the lunge version, whichever one works for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 and then switch to the other side. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch legs. 3, 2, 4. Let me switch legs to the other side. We're doing that for 90 seconds. I'm going to turn on a fan. Okay, perfect. Hopefully you can't hear that. It's not too loud. Okay. Are we ready? We are going to go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Either a lunge or a step. Take your time on this if you need. It does not have to be fast. Think about the control. Once you've done 4, you're switching to the other side. Really think about your opposite arm, 2-leg. Opposite arm, 2-leg. Bit of a thinker for you here this morning. Nicely done. So when I say opposite arm to leg, I'm talking about that front leg. Opposite arm to the front leg. And then when you go back, opposite arm to that front leg. If the arms are getting too confusing, you can try doing just the legs and then add in the arms a couple of repetitions later. Nicely done. Remember, if you're not doing lunging, that's fine. If you're doing stepping, that's fine. But you're thinking about stepping out. So we're not stepping just here. You want to step out further. So if you're doing stepping, you're stepping out, a big step, not just little steps. You've got 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now, if you're someone who found that really challenging in terms of coordination, don't worry, you have a second round to practice, and you're probably not alone. I saw lots of blank faces, myself included, probably. So don't worry, we'll have time to practice that again. Okay, our third exercise, we're actually going to find a wall. We're going to do some wall push-ups. I think I'm going to do this one. I think you can see me. Perfect. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to find a wall, ideally something that doesn't have pictures or things sticking out that will poke you in the face. We're going to stand in front of the wall. We're going to place our hands flat on the wall with the elbows straight. So that's how far you want to be standing from the wall. Your elbows should be straight. If we're like this and your elbows are bent, you're too close. If you're like this, where you can't quite reach the wall and you have to lean forward, you're too far. You want to be at a distance where you can put your hands flat onto the wall and have your elbows completely straight. From here, I want you to imagine the balls of your feet are glued into the floor. You're not lifting your legs, you're not moving them. And your feet are going to be the fulcrum. You're going to tuck your tummy in, and you're going to think about squeezing your shoulder blades together as you bring your chest down to the wall. And then you're going to pull your shoulder blades apart as you push the wall away. So as I'm doing this wall push-up, you can see that my trunk, my body from my head to my heels it's in one line. So I'm not doing this. I'm not sticking my hips forward. I'm not sticking my hips back. I want my body to be in one straight line that's moving. So I'm moving in one straight line. Can you see that? I'm not sagging in the middle. I'm not sticking my bottom out behind me. I'm keeping my body in one plank, in one straight line as I'm doing this wall push-up. And we're going to go for 90 seconds on the clock. Okay, hopefully that made sense. I know I talked a lot. Okay, are we ready? In 3, 2, 1, off we go. Really think about bracing your tummy so it doesn't sag forward as you're lowering towards the wall. You're thinking about holding your trunk nice and rigid, nice and strong. So your body is in one plank, and it's like your elbows are pointing outwards at a 45-degree angle. Nicely done, everybody. Think about the balls of your feet being glued into the floor, so we're not going to lift your feet away. Nicely done. Trunk nice and still, nice and rigid, your body moving in one plank. So it's almost like your body's a statue, and the only thing that's really moving is your arm. Your elbows, your arms are lowering you to the wall. Nicely done. You've got 25 seconds left. If you need a rest, that's okay. Take a rest. But get right back into it if you can. Keep breathing. Remember, no saggy bottoms, no saggy tummy. We're keeping our trunk in one straight line. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Whew, how are we doing? I'm just letting somebody in from the waiting room. Okay. Well done, everybody. 3 exercises down. You've got 2 left. Okay. Our next one is going to be similar to what we did last session. As you'll probably remember, we did an exercise last week that was a modified exercise from the PD Warrior exercise framework. So we're going to start by having our feet maybe about hip width apart, pointing forward. And this is the one where we kept our body in one line and we kind of pivoted. Do you remember that one? We're thinking about headlights at the front of our hips and on our toes, and we're kind of pointing the headlights to one side. We're pivoting and pointing the headlights to the right, back to the middle, then pointing the headlights to the left, and back to the middle. So your body is in one line. We don't want to be like this. We're not rotating our body like this, right? We want the entire body to go in one plank, like so, like that, in one plank. Okay, you want the body to kind of move as a unit. We're keeping the center of gravity in the middle. So that's exactly what we're going to do, except we're going to add in some punching. We're going to start with the arms across the chest, like so. Soft bend to the knees. And we're going to pivot to the side. Hold that balance. And we're going to do 10 punches forward, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pivot back to the middle. Same to the other side. Pivot, hold that balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And pivot back to the middle. So as we're doing this punching, if you look at my feet for a second, when I pivot to the side, can you see my toes are pointing the same direction? My body is facing, and then I'm holding this balance while I do my punches. What I don't want to see is this, where only one foot is turned to the side and the other one is kind of stuck at the front. I want to make sure both of our feet are turned to the side before we do those punches. And then back to the middle, same to the other side. Okay, I see lots of people practicing already. Maybe it's a punching kind of class. Are we ready? We go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Pivot. Hold that balance. We go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pivot to the middle. Good. Really ground yourself when you pivot. Go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pivot. Good. Keep going. In your own time, remember to keep that balance. Don't let yourself fall off of that formation with your feet. You're thinking about the toes pointing the same direction as where you're heading. Do you want your hips to turn the same direction as where you're going? And you can feel free to take this up a notch and do punching a little quicker if you like, but you're still keeping that same power. If you're speeding things up, but then you're losing the range of movement you're having and your punches become too small, I'd rather you slow it down and move as big as you can. 25 seconds. Keep breathing. Nicely done. Hold that balance when you're punching. Your toes are pointing to the side. Nicely done. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Whew, nicely done, everybody. Okay, how are we doing? Hopefully good. I see you're all still here, so that's good. We've got one exercise left, and then we're going to do all 5 one more time from the beginning, and then you're done. You're almost there. Okay, our next one, we're going to do a skater lunge, and it looks like this. I'm going to step out to the side, and I'm going to bring that leg back, almost like into a curtsy, and I'm going to try to touch the floor. Or if I can't touch the floor, I'm going to touch my knee, whatever works for you. Come back up. Other side, send that leg back into almost like a curtsy, and you're going to either touch your knee if you can't touch the floor, or touch the floor. Now, from the side, let me show you from the side. I'm taking my leg and I'm sending it back on a diagonal. So I'm not sending it back behind me, but I'm going on a diagonal, and I'm bending that leg. So I'm going back on a diagonal, like that, okay? Going back on a diagonal, almost like I'm curtsying. Now, if your legs are too close together, so if you look at my legs for a second, if I'm like this, I'm going to have a really hard time because my knees are essentially together. That's too close. I want that leg to go out further so that, can you see there's space between my legs and I have room to actually bend and straighten? Whereas if I'm like this, I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'm probably going to lose my balance because my knees are stuck together. So you want them to be further apart. So again, looks like this. Go back into a curtsy, touch the floor, or touch your knee, whatever works. Back up, same to the other side. Curtsy, either touch your knee or touch the floor. Back up, nice and wide. I'm stepping back into that diagonal. doing those lunges in a diagonal. Nicely done. Okay, good. Let's try that one. I'm gonna get my timer. Apologies for the sniffles. We go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Into that curtsy lunge, that skater lunge. You're thinking about sending that foot back on a diagonal, and back far enough that you're not going to have those two knees knocking together. If you can't bend down at all and maintain your balance, that's okay. Try doing the skater lunge and just bring your hand down to your thigh if you can't. So if you can't bend down because you can't hold your balance as you're bending those knees, that's fine. Just go as low as you can, even if that means you're kind of tapping your thigh. But if you can, go down as far as you can towards the floor, even better. Up to you. But try to do this slow to maintain your balance if you're having some trouble. The other thing I didn't mention is you kind of want your hips to be facing forward. You kind of want your shoulders and hips to keep facing forward, even as you're sending that leg back into a diagonal. 20 seconds. Nicely done. Whew. Well done, everybody. Oh my goodness. 15. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Okay, have a rest. Get some water if you need. We're going to take 60 seconds of a break. If you need to slow your breathing, you can pace the room. Try not to sit down fully, especially if you're sitting down into a couch or a sofa, something that's really soft, because chances are when you sit back, you're probably not going to want to get up again. So try not to sit down fully. You can pace the room to let your heart rate come down, or you can maybe perch on a chair or something like that if you really need to catch your breath. You've only got 5 exercises left, the same 5, and then you're done. Good job, everybody. Keep moving if you can. Let the heart rate calm down a little bit. Nicely done. Last 20 seconds. Good. Let's come back to the middle. Nicely done, everybody. Okay, we're going to redo the same 5 exercises again from the beginning. And after we're done the same 5 exercises, you're done. And that's it. And you'll never see these exercises again. Unless you watch a recording, then you'll see it again. Okay, the first one, we're doing our squat into our punching. We're kind of rotating on a diagonal, so it looks like this. Squat, punch, squat, punch. So I'm using the upwards motion from that squat to help me throw powerful punches. Good, that's our first exercise. I think we all remember this one. Let me get my timer. Are we ready? We go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Squat and punch. Remember to use the upwards motion from the squat to help you throw those punches. So you're thinking about pushing the floor away from you to stand. Ooh, very good. Nice squats, everybody. Remember, if anything feels too fast, you're more than welcome to slow it down. You do not have to do anything at the same speed I'm doing. But I really want you to keep the same quality of movement. So if you are slowing it down, I still want to see those powerful punches. If you're speeding it up, same thing. I still want to see the deep squats into those powerful punches. Remember, if you need a break, that's okay. Take a break, but get right back into it if you can. 30 seconds. Nicely done, everybody. You can do it. 25 seconds of hard work. You can do this. Last 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Woo, nicely done. Shake out those arms, shake out those legs. Say goodbye to this exercise because we're not doing it again. Okay, exercise number 2. I'm going to face sideways to you so you can see my legs. This is our lunging one. This is the one where we went forward lunge, opposite arm to leg reach, and backwards lunge. And again, forwards lunge, backwards lunge, and then we switch legs. Now it's the same leg that's moving for the entire 4 reps. So if you see my front leg that went forward is now going back, and that same leg is now going forward and going back. And I'm reaching opposite arm to leg as I'm doing that. Okay, so this one might be one you're doing a little slower to get the hang of the coordination, and that's okay. Okay, we go in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Remember, we're doing 4 on one side and then switching to the other side. And please don't feel like you have to do this at my speed. Go slower if you need. In fact, let me go slower so you can kind of follow. Nicely done. Opposite arm to leg. Remember, if you're not doing lunges, that's okay if you're doing steps, but just really think about stepping out as far as you can and make that movement as big as you can. Nicely done, everybody. Good. Oh, you got 30 seconds. Opposite arm to leg. Your front leg should always be opposite to your front arm. Nicely done. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew, nicely done. Okay, 3 exercises left, and you're done. Our next one was the wall push-ups. So this is the one where you're standing in front of the wall and you're placing your hands flat onto the wall with your elbows straight. If your elbows are bent, you're too close. If you're having to hinge at the hips to touch the wall, you're too far. So you want to be standing straight up, elbows straight, hands flat onto the wall, and you're thinking about your body from your head to your heels in one big plank. So you're not going to be loosey-goosey. We're going to be nice and strong, nice and rigid. The whole body moves as a plank. And you're sticking your elbows out to point them sort of 45 degrees out to the side into our wall push-ups. And we're going to do that for 90 seconds. Okay, whew. Are we ready? We are going in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Remember, you're thinking about the balls of your feet being glued down to the floor. We're not lifting them. We're keeping them on the spot. Body strong in one plank. Everything moving together. We're not sticking the hips forward. We're not sticking the hips back. You want to be in one straight line. Squeezing the shoulder blades together as we lower the body to the wall and pulling the shoulder blades apart as we push back up. Hopefully you're breathing, not holding your breath. We want to avoid swinging too. So we don't want to be doing this push and kind of come off the wall. We don't want to be pushing off the wall. We want our hands to stay on the wall the entire time. You got 30 seconds left. Keep breathing. You're almost there. You only have 2 exercises left after this. 2 exercises, like 3 minutes of hard work. You can do it. Almost there. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo, well done. Oh, someone's just come back into the waiting room. All right. Nicely done, everybody. Okay, we have 2 exercises left, and you're done. Yay, 3 minutes of hard work, and we're all finished. Okay, so exercise number 4. This is the one where we're pivoting to the side. We're getting our toes to point the direction we're going, and we're doing 10 nice, powerful punches, and then we pivot the entire body back to the front. So you're imagining the balls of your feet bolted down into the floor, and you're swiveling on them. That's what you're doing. You're swiveling on the balls of your feet, and you want both the toes to point the direction you're facing. We don't want to just be like this, right? We don't want just one to go. We want both to turn with you. And you're doing your 10 punches, pivot back to the front. So you're swiveling on the balls of your feet. Okay, I think we remember this one. I see faces of dread. Okay, are we ready? We go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Swivel to the side. We go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swivel to the middle. Good. Keep going. Swivel to the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swivel to the front. Good. Keep going at your own pace. You're holding your balance as you're throwing those punches. By all means, you can absolutely make these punches quicker if you like, but if you're making the punches quicker and your punches start looking like this, like little T-Rex arms, I'd rather you go slower, but you're doing these big, nice ranges of movement in your punches. Good, nicely done. 40 seconds. Keep breathing. Making sure you're swiveling on the balls of your feet. Your toes are pointing the direction that you're going. 25 seconds left. Good, nicely done. 20 seconds. You're almost there. Keep going. Big, powerful punches. No T-Rex arms. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Woo, shake out those arms. Shake out those legs. Oh my goodness. Okay. One more exercise left. Last 90 seconds of hard work, and you're all done. You're almost there. This last one is going to be our skater lunges or our curtsy lunges. And you're sending one leg back on a diagonal, almost like you're curtsying. And then you're either touching your knee if you can't go down any further, or you can bend both of the legs and try to reach the floor or as low as you feel you're able to. So as the name implies, it is still a lunge. And if you recall a traditional lunge, we're bending both of our knees, right? So same with this curtsy skater lunge, we're still bending both of our knees. But of course, if you're not able to do that, you can keep your legs relatively upright, but you're still aiming to bend the knees on both sides and kind of reaching as far down as you can. And you're trying to keep your hips and your shoulders in front. Okay. Last 90 seconds of hard work, and then we're done. We go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. As low as you can. Even if that's not very low at all, that's okay. Think about bending both of your knees. I know this one's a little tough balance-wise, so don't worry if you're finding you're losing your balance. You're definitely not the only one. And so if you are fighting for your balance here, go a little slower. Maybe less steep of a diagonal. You can always just keep your arms where they are and just aim to do this kind of diagonal stepping, if you will. as a way to start with that balance. If you don't want to touch the floor, and this is a little too much balance wise, do what I'm doing. You're just tapping that leg back in a diagonal. So just stepping back into the diagonal like this. You're stepping back into that diagonal rather than all the way down into that lunge. You got 30 seconds left. You're almost there. Keep going. Doesn't matter what version you're doing, you're almost there. Try to keep going to the end. 20 seconds left. Last 15. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Legs nice and wide. Big breath in. Oh, big stretch and circle the arms down. Again, breath in. And breath out. Circulating the arms all the way down. Bring your legs a little closer in together. Bring the arms back up to the T. And we're going to lean to the side into a bit of a side stretch. And as we're doing this, see if you can circle that top arm a couple of times in this sideways stretch. Coming back up, drop the arms for a second, float them back up, same to the other side. Circling that top arm. And coming back up, drop the arms. Okay, we're gonna go into a bit of a stretch. One leg forward, one leg back. You're bending your front knee, you're straightening your back. And the goal here is you're trying to straighten that back knee as much as you can, and you're reaching that heel down to the floor as much as you can. So you should feel a stretch in the back calf muscle. You're reaching that heel down. If you're having a really tough time getting that heel down, bring your leg in closer. Or if you're not feeling the stretch at all and your heel is all the way down to the floor, you can bring that leg back further. But you're trying to straighten that back knee. Nicely done. And let's switch sides. Same thing. You're trying to straighten that back knee. Stick that heel down to the floor as much as you can. Hopefully you switch sides. Good, nicely done. Coming back up. I'm going to do an inner thigh stretch. Legs out a little wider. We're going to stick our bottom back and bend one of our knees like so. So from the side, I'm doing this. I'm sticking my bottom back. I'm keeping my back straight. I'm sticking my bottom back. One leg straight, one leg bent. So you'll feel that stretch on the inner thigh of that straightened leg. But make sure you're sticking your bottom back, because if you don't stick your bottom back, you won't feel this very much. Good. Let's switch to the other side. Same thing. Stick your bottom back. You're thinking straight spine, but sticking your bottom back. Nicely done. One more each side. Okay, and we're going to come up for a thigh stretch. You can hold on to something for balance. Two options. Option one, if you can reach your foot, you can go ahead and pull your foot towards your bottom. Keep your knees in one line, so don't let your knee come forward. Keep your knees in one line and push your hips forward to feel that stretch in the thigh. If you can't do that, you're going to grab a chair or something to put your foot on, and it's going to look like this. So you can place your foot onto something, a stack of blocks, or on top of a chair, on top of a low bench, whatever works for you, sticking your knees together, hips forward, exactly the same thing. The higher the chair, the more of a stretch you'll feel. And let's switch sides, same thing, other side, you can either grab the foot and pull up, or you can place your foot onto a chair behind you, whatever works for you. The key here is keeping your knees in one line and pushing your hips forward. because if your knee is coming forward too far, you're not actually going to feel that stretch very much. Nicely done. So whichever version works for you. Good. And rest. We're going to do a bottom muscle stretch because we've been working on that a lot today. You're going to sit down into a chair. We have a couple of different options for this. What we're going to do here is you're sitting down in the chair. You're just going to cross one of your legs over like so. You're going to cross one foot over the thigh, and you're going to sit nice and tall and try to press that knee down. Press that knee down towards the floor. And if you keep your spine nice and straight, you can hinge forward at the hips, and you'll feel it in that bottom muscle. Now, if you can't hinge forward, that's fine. If you can only hold your leg here, that's okay too. Or if you're not able to lift your leg up at all, here's what you're going to do instead. You're going to straighten one of your legs and then bring the other one over top of the straightened knee. So that way you're not actually lifting up as high with that bent leg. You can have the other leg straight and you're still thinking about pressing that knee down to the ground. Same thing. And let's release. Same on the other side. Take your foot, hike it over your knee if you can. Try to press that knee down towards the floor. Gently though, we're not doing it very hard. And if you want an added stretch on top of that, spine nice and long, nice and straight, and you're hinging at the hips, forward over that leg. And you should feel it in that bottom muscle as well. And remember, if you're not able to get your leg up, that's fine. Straighten that bottom leg, so that way you can bring that leg up as high as you can on the leg, so you're still getting that kind of rotation in that stretch. Nicely. And release. All right, that's it. You are done. 3 weeks of this level 2 class. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much for being here with me. I hope it was enjoyable, but I also hope that it kicked your butt in a way. So if you are interested in our future exercise classes, please do have a look on our society website. We have, in July, we have our Power Pilates classes coming up. We have both a standing and a seated version. The Power Pilates class is, as the name implies, Pilates, but with a little bit of added cardio to it. And the fully standing Pilates class does not have any floor work, so you don't have to worry about getting on and off the floor. Same with the seated Pilates class, no floor work, so you're just in a chair the entire time. If you're interested in that, definitely sign up. Otherwise, keep an eye out for future exercise classes. Thanks, everyone.